What is going on, guys? JD from New York here. Thank you so much for tuning back into the channel. This is your official NXT review for May 10th, 2017. We are 2 weeks away from NXT TakeOver Chicago and a show that I am very much looking forward to. I'm actually looking forward to Backlash as well for several reasons. One being Shinsuke Nakamura, the other one being Breezango, as I am taking my boys in Breezango, hopefully, to win the WWE SmackDown Live Tag Team Championship. So, we'll see what happens in about 2 weeks. I'm very excited for that weekend, and obviously I will be covering it all right here on the channel. I want to thank you guys for the support this week. Raw and SmackDown Live reviews are up on the channel right now. Make sure you guys go and check those out. There's also a special off-the-script extra where we document Braun Strowman's injury. The Monster Among Men is out 2 months, and WWE now has to rewrite plans not only for Extreme Rules, but for Great Balls of Fire. So I don't know what's going to happen with that. I don't know what that means for Roman Reigns. I don't know what that means for Brock Lesnar in the Universal Championship. All I know is that there will be a lot of sleepless nights in Stamford, Connecticut, because I do not trust WWE to rewrite plans that actually make sense going into either of those pay-per-views. So we will document all of that as the weeks go on. As far as news and rumors go, I have nothing for this week, man. I mean, it is absolutely bone dry. It's like the fucking Sahara Desert, man. There's fucking nothing as far as news goes. I don't know what the hell I'm going to do for off the script, but we'll figure something out. As far as NXT news, the only thing that I have on NXT is Ember Moon. Ember Moon looks to be legitimately injured, and she will not be at NXT TakeOver Chicago, which is very disheartening. It was supposed to be a fatal four-way for the Women's Championship: Ember Moon, Asuka, Ruby Riott, and Nicky Cross. It's now just going to be those 3 women minus Ember Moon. No Sweet Home Chicago for Ember Moon. One of the only matches announced so far up until this show, which we'll talk about in a second, for TakeOver Chicago, was a Women's Championship match, putting those 4 women against each other in a fatal four-way. And after what happened with the Battle Royal, I thought it was nothing but a kayfabe injury. I thought it was nothing but a storyline injury. It seems to be legit. WWE kept it very under the rug, very under the radar. They didn't say anything about Ember Moon up until just a couple days ago, then leading on into this week's television tapings. The injury is legit. According to an article on WWE.com and a video posted on their YouTube channel. Now, I am still hopeful here, just because of that alone. An article on WWE.com, which you know they always play up injuries, and then obviously WWE can do whatever the hell they want with their YouTube channel. But those sources have documented that Moon is out of this match due to a shoulder injury suffered in the Battle Royal on last week's television taping of NXT. Her estimated ring time return will be 4 to 5 weeks, so she will definitely miss NXT TakeOver Chicago as a result. Now, it is a triple threat. Everybody figured that Ember Moon was going to be the one to take Asuka's title away. I don't know if that is the plan right now for either Nicky Cross or Ruby Riott. I don't think it should be. I don't think Asuka should lose, period. I honestly do not think Asuka should lose at all. Now, what WWE has to think about here is several things. One, Ember Moon obviously will be returning, barring any injury. She will be there going on into the summer months. The next time we see a takeover won't be till SummerSlam. Is WWE going to build up Ember Moon for those several weeks leading up to SummerSlam for her to take the title off of Asuka? I don't know. I don't know. Because in the meantime, there will be a tournament going on at Full Sail University with 32 women from around the world on the WWE Network. WWE might use that as a launching pad for someone else to challenge Asuka for the Women's Championship. And for that, the winner of that tournament to take the title from Asuka? I don't know. So WWE is going to have to do a lot of thinking, not only for their main roster on Raw, but for NXT as well. And this is very disheartening. I threw it out there that Ember Moon could be playing up this injury, and she could show up in Chicago, and she could still be added to this match, and they could build her up as a sympathetic babyface with this situation. And then when we get to Chicago, she'll just show up miraculously saying, listen, I am not squandering this opportunity. I am going to be in this match. I am okay to go. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. It's going to be a very interesting NXT TakeOver Chicago. But if Ember Moon is not in the match, we can probably rest assured and pretty much guarantee that Asuka is walking out still the NXT Women's Champion. As for this show, we'll get into the show in a second. That's the only piece of news that I got for NXT leading on into this review. I want to thank everybody, as always, for sticking with me on the channel. Thank you for all your support. We are still trucking along with all the bullshit that YouTube has going on for itself right now. People aren't getting videos. Videos are not hitting sub boxes. Videos are not posting to Twitter. Likes and comments are down all across the board for everybody. Views are down. I don't know what the fuck is going on, man. But you guys are keeping everything afloat, and you guys are keeping everything A-okay. Patreon.com/JD206 if you guys want to support on a monthly basis. It's unbelievable what you guys are doing with the Patreon, man. Shoutouts coming this Friday on Off the Script for everybody that's pledged this week. So thank you to everybody that's pledged so far for the Patreon. As little as $1 a month goes a long way, man. And we got a lot of eyes on this channel. And if everybody does $1 a month, you guys are supporting the cause and saying this to YouTube.com. That's Patreon.com/JD206. Thank you to everybody that's pledged and continues to pledge towards the podcast and the channel. Another great way you guys can support the show is through Audible. Our friends over at Audible support this show greatly. You guys are showing love in massive ways to Audible. We had our biggest sign-up month to date in April, and we're looking to do it again in May, man. Audible Trial.com/offthescript. You guys are going to get 30 days free to try their service out with one free audiobook included, compatible with iPhone and Android devices. Over 180,000 books to choose from, and no matter what, if you guys cancel the service, you get to keep your audiobook for free. A lot of guys are casting in on AJ Lee's new book, Crazy is My Superpower, narrated by AJ Lee herself. Over 9 hours of AJ Lee documenting her autobiography. Justin Roberts' new book, if not on there already, will be coming to Audible Trial. Make sure you guys want to go check that out if you're interested in Justin Roberts' story from his career in WWE. You can also pre-order Jim Ross's new book coming out in October. So make sure you guys check out audibletrial.com/offthescript. Amazing way to support this show, and you guys are kicking ass with that, so thank you guys so much. Barbershop Window to get t-shirts like this. The second rendition of Get Off My TV. This is the old Braun Strowman clowns. This is not Braun Strowman of current. This is Braun Strowman of the Wyatt family. So I might actually redo this shirt. I actually might redo this shirt with a current rendition. I don't know. I have to come up with 4 people who I want to be on here. So we'll see what happens with that, because he's kind of there, but he's kind of not. Kane is no longer there. Ryback is fired. And Braun Strowman's the best thing on Monday Night Raw. So I might actually have to redo this one. It'll be Get Off My TV version 2.5. So I don't know what's going on with that. But you guys can still get this. It's available if you guys want the nostalgia of the old shirt. Barbershopwindow.com/offthescript. We are an official partner with Barbershop Window and Pro Wrestling Tees. $19.99. They ship worldwide, and they are amazing quality. So make sure you guys go get your t-shirts and support the show. Also, you guys can directly support the show with LootCrate. LootCrate is giving you guys a 10% off discount if you use my code JDFROMNY. All you got to do is go to trylootcrate.com/offthescript if you guys want anything LootCrate offers, man. Any box that they offer, even the WWE Slam Crate. Use that link. TryLootCrate.com and use the coupon code at checkout JDFROMNY. You're going to save yourself some money on Loot Crate, man. Those are 4 great ways to support this channel. Thank you guys so much. Also, follow me on Twitter at JDFROMNY206 and subscribe to the YouTube channel if you have not done so already down below, and hit that bell for the notification. Let's talk about this show, man. The main thing about this show was to find a #1 contender for Bobby Roode's NXT Championship. Okay, the main event featured Hideo Itami versus Roderick Strong. And this show pretty much revolved around that match and that match alone. A lot of this was video packages highlighting Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate. A lot of this was video packages highlighting, you know, Asuka and what she did last week in the Battle Royal. So they're getting ready for TakeOver. NXT is getting ready for TakeOver, and they're doing their best to get everything squared away for Chicago. In the opening match, we've seen Alistair Black, who is going to be a fucking megastar in this company. Mark my words. That entrance alone, and just the way he carries himself, unbelievable. You know, he hasn't spoken one word yet. The guy can do it all. The guy can wrestle. The guy's got a fucking great theme. The guy's got a great entrance. The guy can do it all. If he's got passable mic skills, he will be a superstar in WWE. Mark my words. And he went against Cesar Bonani. This guy was huge, man. This guy was a Brazilian MMA fighter. They played him, I believe that was his background. That's what Tom Phillips said. This guy was about 6'7". This guy was mammoth, towering over Alistair Black. It looked like Cesar Bonani was actually going to be Alistair Black's first real, at least decent competition. But in the end, you know, they all fall, man. The bigger they are, the harder they fall. Bonani got some knocks in on him, man. Bonani got some knocks in on him. He had a nice atomic drop, knocked him down. Alistair Black kicked out at not even a 1 count. You know, Alistair Black showed off with some springboard moonsault action here, landing on his feet and then going right into the Indian-style sitting position. And Alistair Black finally had some offense done to him, but it was absolutely worthless. Bonani's offense did nothing, man. Punches, kicks, you know, and then boom, the Black Mass. I love that, man. It literally comes out of nowhere. It's the new thing, man. Like the RKO comes out of nowhere, the Black Mass just comes out of nowhere. Alistair Black wins by pinfall. He beats the much larger Cesar Bonani. I don't think I've ever seen this guy before, but if he is signed with WWE, he looks to be a blue chip prospect there, because that guy's got everything WWE's looking for. He's got the size, he's got the physique, he's got the look. So I don't know what's going on with his background or if he's in the Performance Center training, but Cesar Bonani looked, physique-wise, he looked impressive, but Alistair Black gets another win here on NXT. They recapped the NXT Championship, or the NXT Women's Championship, rather, with the Battle Royal. They showed Asuka doing her deal, interrupting the Battle Royal, throwing Ember Moon through the middle rope, hitting the steel barricade. Nikki Cross and Ruby Riott got their ass kicked. I know you guys probably thought it was weird that a Battle Royal that has no disqualifications ended suddenly because of Asuka's interference. And I did not mention that on last week's show, which I don't know why I didn't. It just kind of just went over my head. But I understood why they did it. They wanted to set up the match. They wanted to set up this Fatal 4-Way, and that was the best way that they could come up with that in the Battle Royal. So I do not blame them for that. On a side note, Candice LeRae, you guys mentioned that I did not mention her in the Battle Royal last week. Who the fuck cares? Seriously, who cares? Did she play a part in the ending? No. So, who cares if I missed her name or didn't recognize her in the Battle Royal? She did not play a part at all in the Battle Royal. She was there pretty much to fill the ring with another body. That's all she was there for. When she starts getting regular television time and when she starts getting put in storylines, then I will mention what she does. Until then, it was only important for me to mention Ember Moon, Ruby Riott, and Nikki Cross. That was it. So, please, don't get on my case about not mentioning her in last week's Battle Royal. She wasn't factored into the ending or the match at all, so who cares? She will. She's going to be probably in the tournament. She's going to be a big part of the women's division going forward, but it's not her time yet. Give her time, okay? We move on from the women's saga, and we go on into a video package about Pete Dunne versus Tyler Bate, which will be a United Kingdom Championship match at TakeOver Chicago. I can't wait for that. I am fully expecting the Bruiserweight to claim the United Kingdom Championship. I think Chicago is going to be all over that match, man. I can't wait to see that. It should be a great environment for both Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate in Chicago. They did a vignette on Ruby Riott. They showed pictures of her as a young child. They documented why she got into wrestling and the significance of her tattoos. She mentioned that she put off friends and she put off birthdays and weddings and family outings, and she distanced herself from family because this is what she wanted to do with her life, and the only validation that she will have for doing all of that and getting to this point is by winning the NXT Women's Championship. And then they documented her tattoos, saying that every one of her tattoos has a significant meaning to her, which is nice. I like these video packages. I like them documenting, you know, these newcomers' backgrounds, because I didn't know who Ruby Riott was before she hit WWE. Same thing with Roderick Strong. I knew of Roderick Strong, but I didn't know his background. And WWE's been doing a really nice job with some of the talent in NXT, highlighting their background so that we actually legitimately care about them going into TakeOver. We had to sit down with Nikki Cross here, which was very odd. She started playing with the microphone. She started jumping up and down on the chair. She started to stalk one of the tech guys as he wanted to put the microphone on her. She just kept saying, "Ruby, where are you, Asuka?" You know, she was fucking crazy. You know, Nikki Cross is playing a psychotic bitch, and I love it. It's awesome, you know, and I can't wait to see what happens with Nikki Cross and Asuka, because I loved that dynamic, you know, from the last time we seen them in the ring, and I can't wait to see what they do when we get to Chicago. She does a countdown, and the interviewer starts asking questions, but she starts batting around the microphone that's hanging above. She calls out Ruby Riott. She asks about strategies, but simply asks where Ruby and Asuka are before asking where her championship is. So Nikki Cross playing a beautiful psychotic bitch on NXT, man. Hideo Itami, Roderick Strong, the main event, like I said, as you guys can see up until this point, it was the only thing that was pretty much, you know, highlighted on this show as a big deal, you know, as far as in-ring action goes. Drew McIntyre was interviewed backstage right before the number 1 Contenders match, and he thinks it's going to be a great match between Roddy and Hideo Itami. He's a little disappointed, he said, that he's not in the mix, but he's learned over the last few years that if something is not happening for you, you make it happen yourself. And then out of nowhere, Wesley Blake from Blake and Murphy rolls up into the interview and talks about how he needs himself a second chance, and how he says that he's a former NXT Tag Team Champion back in the day when he had the beautiful Alexa Bliss, you know, leading them to the ring. He tells Drew McIntyre, you know, you were gone once. Why don't you go leave again? And that was it, you know. He's like, you don't deserve a second chance. You're back now. Why don't you do us a favor and just walk out again? So I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know if they're pushing Wesley Blake as a singles guy now. You know, they could certainly use Blake and Murphy in the tag team division. They really could, unless they want to push them single. I don't know what's going on with that. I'm surprised Drew McIntyre doesn't even have an opponent for TakeOver. He's one of the biggest names there, and he does not have a match for TakeOver. It's amazing, you know, but I think I have a good idea of what they're going to be doing with Drew McIntyre at TakeOver. I'll talk about it in a second. We got another vignette for the Velveteen Dream. Give me a fucking break with this guy. Give me a fucking break, man. This guy reminds me of Disco Inferno mixed with dashes of gold dust. You do not know you do not want to know who the Velveteen Dream is, please. Do not Google the Velveteen Dream. I'm telling you right now, you'll be turned off instantaneously from NXT. Nobody cares about this guy. I wonder if he's going to be at TakeOver Chicago. I would love for this guy to be at NXT TakeOver Chicago. Just for him to get fucking chewed out by the Chicago natives. I would love to see it. I would absolutely love to see it, man. Anyway, moving on from this clown. We go from that goon to Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. And listen to this. This has me most excited for NXT TakeOver Chicago. DIY says the Authors of Pain are the biggest and baddest team in NXT, but they have what they want, and they have pointed out that they've never gotten their fair rematch. And at Chicago TakeOver, there's only one team that belongs in the ring with AOP, and that is DIY. Gargano says that Heavy Machinery and every other team have to know that the line starts behind DIY. Now, one of the weakest things about NXT is the tag team division. More so than the women's division, the tag team division right now is probably the worst and NXT's weakest link. There's only 3 teams. There's only 3 legit teams in NXT right now. We got DIY, we got the Authors of Pain, and we got Heavy Machinery. Tommy NC's calling me. You see this? This fucking guy doesn't know that I'm recording, alright? Tommy, you gonna watch my review? I'm fucking recording over here, goon. Anyway, we got... Where the fuck was I? Tommy, you fucking asshole! What was I saying? There's 3 teams. There's 3 teams in NXT. We got Heavy Machinery, DIY, and Authors of Pain, okay? Heavy Machinery, no question, is going to be the next in line for AOP. In fact, I am actually predicting, and I've been predicting for the last couple of weeks, that Heavy Machinery take the titles off of AOP at TakeOver Brooklyn. That's my prediction. But it's going to be a wild ride before we even get there, man. And like I said, the NXT tag team division is the weakest part of NXT. I don't know what it is about Tino, Sabbatelli, and Riddick Moss, but I love them as a tag team, man. Now, I've seen them here and there. I know Tino Sabbatelli was highlighted on Breaking Ground as, you know, he was not good enough. He was still very green in the ring. And he was a big focus point on that show as they documented how he was coming up from playing football and then he got injured and then, you know, he was, you know, still learning the ropes. Tino Sabbatelli and Riddick Moss make a very good-looking tag team, man. I got to throw it out there. Tino Sabbatelli looks like $1 million. I'll say that right now. So does Riddick Moss. Riddick Moss, I don't know if you guys remember the Heavenly Bodies. I don't know if you guys remember Dr. Tom Pritchard and Gigolo Jimmy Del Rey. Riddick Moss reminds me of a young Dr. Tom Pritchard, but obviously much more built. But they are a good-looking tag team, man. All they need, they got the matching outfits, they got the theme music. They need a good tag team name. And then that's another solid team, which clearly the crowd was behind. The crowd was behind Tino Sabbatelli. I don't know if it was in a good way or in one of these douche-like ways, like, you know, why get the fuck out of here. This guy looks like $1 million. He looks like a cocky prick, you know. But they look like a legit good tag team, man. They are well put together. I don't know if they have a name or not, but all they need is a really solid name that catches on. And you got another team right there, man. You got another team right there. I'd like to see these guys be built up. Because tag team wrestling needs to be built up in NXT. And they look good against DIY, man. They look good. Gargano was on the apron and Ciampa was being beat down most of this match until the hot tag came in. You know, right before you know it, meet them in the middle, 1, 2, 3, and DIY wins. So that was pretty much it, man. Meet them in the middle on Riddick Moss, 1, 2, 3. After the match was over, we had the Authors of Pain come out because William Regal was about to set up the tag team match. William Regal comes out saying that, yes, there's no other team in NXT that belongs in the ring with the Authors of Pain. We got the Authors of Pain come out, and they interrupted William Regal. And Paul Ellering says, how dare you, you know? Why are you going to put these 2 guys in the ring with my dynasty? Their blood will be on your hands. Make the match. And then they walk away. So William Regal's like, listen, Paul, do you not want to hear what the stipulation is going to be for this match? It's going to be DIY and the Authors of Pain, and I'm going to take those tag team championships and I'm going to hang them above the ring. At TakeOver Chicago, look for this to be the match of the night. DIY versus the Authors of Pain in a ladder match for the NXT Tag Team Championships. That is going to be fucking awesome. I can't wait. It's going to be great. Cassius Ono was interviewed backstage. He came back to NXT for the title. Slipped up. Lost to Bobby Roode. Now he's got to work his way back to the top. When you fall down, you can't stay down. You got to get right back up and fight. Just like when he was released, he said he's going to get right back up and get right back to the top. When you see him coming into a building, you know he's going to tear it down brick by brick. And Full Sail University has a lot of bricks. He lists off a lot of contenders, you know, Drew McIntyre and Alistair Black. Andrade Cien Almas starts eyeing up the interviewer. I don't know her name, but she was fairly attractive. He starts licking his chops. He starts licking his lips. Andrade looking at the interviewer instead of looking at Cassius Ono. Cassius Ono even said, listen, Mr. Tranquilo, instead of thinking about what you're doing after the match, why don't you and I get in the ring next week and worry about what happens in the ring? So Cassius Ono was going one-on-one with Andrade Cien Almas, Mr. Playboy himself, which I'm enjoying more and more every time I see him. He's just in the wrong situation right now because he's done nothing but put over guys. When I think Andrade needs to start being put over himself. But it should be a very physical match. You know, Ono could get physical. You know, Andrade's got that strong style mentality. Going to be a good match. I still don't know what both men do at TakeOver because both men are good enough to be on TakeOver. But this is what I think happens. I think Cassius Ono beats Andrade Cien Almas. And being that Drew McIntyre doesn't have a match at TakeOver, I got two opponents for him. One, you could put McIntyre versus Cassius Ono at TakeOver, or you could do Roderick Strong versus Drew McIntyre at TakeOver. Those are my predictions for that, but you got to do something with Drew McIntyre. He's on the roster. He's one of the biggest names they got. Right now, he doesn't have a match at all for TakeOver Chicago. We'll see what happens next week, if anything is lined up for Ono, Andrade, Strong, or Drew McIntyre. They might as well put all of them in a fucking Fatal 4-Way. Who the fuck knows, man? You know? You can make that a number one contenders match right there. We'll see what happens. I don't know. I didn't read the spoilers. So we'll see what happens with that. 1 week left before TakeOver. They showed a vignette for Tyler Bate with Bop and Bang. And documenting him winning the United Kingdom Championship from Pete Dunne the first time around in January. Like I said, that should be a great match at TakeOver Chicago for the UK Championship. Dunne versus Tyler Bate. And the main event here, #1 contendership for the NXT World title. Bobby Roode was not here this week. This was a very, very, very hard-hitting match, man. Worthy of a main event. It was worthy of a #1 contendership. These guys busted their fucking ass. There was one part in this match. By the way, Roderick Strong has amazing fucking backbreakers, man. So fucking physical. You gotta love him. There was one part where Roderick Strong had an armbar applied, and you guys know Hideo Itami had his shoulder issue, and you can see a visible scar on his shoulder. The way Roderick Strong bent his shoulder back, man, was cringe-inducing. I had to fucking wince at the television screen watching this because you've seen the scar and you've seen his just arm deformed, and Roderick Strong is just fucking tearing his arm back. It was really, really fucking cringeworthy. Very nasty. But this was a very hard-hitting match. The one thing I liked about this match is that Roderick Strong looked fucking great. After all the promo packages that they did on him, which were 2, documenting his history. And they documented that this is his first match back from his wife giving birth to their first child. Roderick Strong fought his ass off in this match to try and beat Hideo Itami. He did everything he possibly could. Up until the last closing minutes of this match, man, there was a Falcon's Arrow, and then there was a big knee, which knocked Roderick Strong out. There was a running drop kick from corner to corner by Hideo Itami. Roderick Strong got up. He was absolutely fucking out of his mind, blitzed, dazed. He didn't know where the fuck he was. He started shoving Hideo Itami. He started like, come on, bro. You know, he was back up on his feet. The story that they told really showed Roderick Strong in a great light, as if he's not the one to give up and that this is the biggest match of his life right now because he wants to go on to TakeOver to fight Bobby Roode. He got back up. He's like, hit me with all you got. What else you got for me? And then at the end, Hideo Itami obviously leveled him with the GTS. 1, 2, 3. And Hideo Itami is the #1 contender for the NXT Championship, man. Another great move in this match was a huge Falcon Arrow off the top rope, an avalanche Falcon Arrow. Unbelievable move there. There was, you know, Roderick Strong and Hideo Itami, like I said, literally beat the shit out of each other. And all it took was that GTS. After the match, they embraced in the middle of the ring, showing good sportsmanship, and that was it, man. A nice sign of respect to close the show, and that was your NXT TV tapings for this week. A lot of packages getting you ready for TakeOver. I'm assuming it's going to be the same thing next week. What we have to look forward to right now, Cassius Ono versus Andrade Cien Almas. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of build via video packages and hype packages for TakeOver Chicago. Sure, Bobby Roode's going to be there. We'll probably see a showdown with Hideo Itami and Bobby Roode. And then, obviously, with the women, I don't know what they got planned. Like I said, I do not read the spoilers. So, we're one show away from TakeOver Chicago. Should be interesting, and hopefully the rest of the card will be fleshed out for TakeOver Chicago. I am JD. Thank you guys so much. If you enjoyed the NXT review and results and my opinions on everything for this week's television tapings, please leave me a thumbs up down below. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Who do you guys think Drew McIntyre is going to be fighting at TakeOver Chicago? Because you know he's going to be on the show. You guys know he's going to be on the show. And, yes, Adam Cole, baby, is a free agent. I fully expect him to be at TakeOver Chicago, sitting front row, just like Drew McIntyre was during NXT TakeOver Orlando. So we'll talk about Adam Cole next week as well, and as we head on into NXT TakeOver Chicago. But I fully expect him to be sitting there front row, and everybody's going to lose their goddamn fucking mind because Adam Cole is coming to the WWE. Hit that thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know who you guys think Drew McIntyre is going to fight at TakeOver Chicago, or if Alistair Black is going to have a match. Still a lot of time to book these guys in matches, man. I don't know what WWE's doing right now, but we'll see what happens next week. Follow me on Twitter at JDFROMNY206. Hit that subscribe button with the bell for the notification, and please check out the sponsors, man. Patreon, Audible Trial, Barbershop Window, and try LootCrate.com/offthescript, man. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you all on Friday for episode 169 of Off the Script. I'll see you guys later.